Alright, GTR fans, we got another one here today, and it's by Ignition Models, so I'm gonna have some complaints, but in the end I'll probably still like it. Okay, you can watch my other Ignition Model reviews. I don't have too many, and you'll see why if you watch them. I complain a lot about certain things. It came in a plastic bag, I took that off. This thing is licensed by Nissan here. It says it's an R33 GTR Titanium Gray. Alright. And then this box is kind of loose actually. Yeah, so loose lid. There's no fragile parts on these things, so I'm going to remove it off the base for this video, but I'm going to just put it back in the box later. I don't have room to store a bunch of empty boxes. So this seems to be an Ignition original. Like, I don't think it's a real car in the real world, and the reason being is when I look at this front end with this splitter right here, this vertical line, this front end belongs to something called the BCNR 33 400 400R. It's a special limited edition. It literally says it there on the license plate. And so this 400R, it means it's like 400 horsepower, but you know, this doesn't have any badging saying it's a 400R, and also the rear wing is totally different from these photographs I'm going to show you, but the front end totally matches up, you know, where these lights are in that thing. Okay, so you'll see, you know, the 400R came with these 5-spoke wheels, but Ignition just put on some mesh wheels, and then they put on a whole different wing, and then also they don't have the backup lights. See this little white strip? That's totally body colored here, so it's not totally customized. If not a legal driving vehicle, since there's no backup lights. Okay, let's take a look here. What is pretty cool is it's a matte finished titanium. It's not a gloss, right? Because if you look at the pic here, it's not a sharp reflection. It's a very muted reflection. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I like these different paint finishes. Then you can see this carbon fiber here. I'm not sure if this is a tampo print or a decal, but it's not crossing over this gap. So that's really nice. It looks like a separate piece, you know. And then it's got some little vent details there. A little blanked off vent there. Some wiper blades molded in there. Black around the windshield. I feel like the wiper blades could be a little longer. Going to the front, we have some really cool headlights. Clear lenses with a lot of detail behind them. Looks like some little light bulbs back there, you know, all 3 of them. These are just painted on. Would be nice if those were plastic at this price. There's a grille texture here, and well, it just looks like it's an R. Actually, I don't know what that is. That's not an R. It's kind of like an X. So that's a weird logo. I don't know what's happening there. I do feel like this grill might be a separate piece. You see the little gap there? Maybe this is a photo etched piece of metal. Oh well. Some black paint in these little vents. Some grill detail here molded in. This is just plain black. It would be nice if there's like a crosshatch. Maybe they're plain on the real car. These go in quite a bit. Painted black back in there seems. So seems okay there. This little side vent here, yeah, so it's just plain, you know, smooth, painted black. And so here's one of my gripes. As nice as these wheels are, nice mesh, lug nut details, chrome lip, there's no brakes. You know, for the price of an IG model here, there should be brakes, because other brands will do it for less than half the price, right? Nice printing here, although it's not legible. I'm going to assume that's some sort of Skyline logo. This bump here is painted orange. The paint's off a little bit too. This is not going to roll at all. The wheel doesn't move at all. That front one doesn't. The rear one does. Door detail looks alright. Separate mirror with some painted silver indication. There's a little vent here. No black paint though. Panel gaps seem okay. Side window, we have some black printing for the that little, I guess that'd be the B pillar maybe, or the door frame. And then I think there's black paint on the casting out here. There's a fuel filler on this side of the car. Just a plain raw plastic wing. So nice to see something in the license plate. GTR. Big huge exhaust and a little depth in there too, so that's cool. Nice clear tail lights, but yeah, there's no backup lights, so that's pretty weak, I think. I think they could have or should have painted that silver. Hey, is it silver? No, I think it's titanium still. Skyline looks good, GTR looks good, this bump is alright, I guess. I think that's supposed to be the Nissan logo, but it's just an oval. So actually, that's kind of weak. Other brands might actually try to print Nissan there. Wing or trunk. I think this trunk is a separate piece. Look at the gap. So the bottom is painted titanium. The top is this carbon fiber, and it looks good. It looks like carbon fiber. It's printed nicely or whatever it is. And then some black out here on the windows for the molding there. This side of the car. Rear spins, front doesn't. Same details as the other side. Alright, so there's a rear view mirror I can see hanging in there. Let's go to the bottom. Alright, this one actually has 2 screws holding it together. Treads look okay, although they're flatted out from being screwed to the base too much. But that's actually realistic, you know. Cars have flat spots on their tires. Let's take a look. I'm going to open this. The exhaust is just, you know, part of the plastic base. Get a different angle. The mirrors are rigid though, keep that in mind. If you drop this on a mirror, it's going to break for sure. Alright, so here's another complaint for this brand. For the price of this model, there's no other color in here. You know, there's no decals, no tampo printing of anything like an instrument cluster or seat belts or anything like that. So this is the kind of interior you would expect on a green light. You know, a green light costs five times less than this. 4 times, 5, 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 times as less money. So, yeah, that's a shame. I don't mind the plastic base. I actually prefer lighter weight vehicles because shipping cost is less. Although I did buy this one locally. I don't buy everything locally. Yeah, so this thing's going to require some modification. I'm going to see if I have some extra disc brakes laying around. And maybe I'll repaint the interior. I will say in their defense, it looks like the 400R. It just has a black interior. But since this is not a 400R, because there should be a badge there saying 400R, which there isn't, and it should have a different wing. This is a pretty much custom Skyline, so I'll be back. Okay, I did put in some brakes, 3D printed. I have the calipers near the door. I'm not sure if you'll see, there's a gold caliper right there. There's a gold caliper right there. They spin with the wheels though, because there are no tabs in the frame. Since I had it open, I also resprayed the interior, this tan. And that also helped me realize that the rear windows are heavily tinted, if not blacked out. Right? I don't know if that's a totally opaque black rear window, I think. I don't think there's any light getting through there, so that's interesting. I'm not sure why they would go about doing that, but they did. Okay, let's look at a couple other cars here. I actually do have one other R33. It's by Kyosho, and you'll see some differences here. Kyosho at least printed on the rear turn signals and rear backup lights. This is not a 400R casting though. It doesn't have that vertical thing in there. But you see the taillights? Like under them? Right, that's a street legal car. This is not. So it feels kind of weak. I should probably repaint this. No, this is press fit together. I can't take it apart. Alright, I have a Mini GT R32. That one I did repaint the interior, and I added some brakes to that one as well. We have this R34 by Stance Hunters. It's pretty good. No complaints there that I can recall. here's an R35, a random no-name brand. It's just unlisted, but there's like 10 colorways. If you see the listing, that has a pink one. Except for the wheels and tires, this is a great model. I did repaint it. I added these like alloys for Hot Wheels on it. But otherwise, I think it's a great model. I think it was like $6 or less than 10 bucks too. Like search it on AliExpress or something. Alright, so give you a top view of these before I show you a couple more ignition models. Alright, let's get these guys out. Alright, prior to this, I reviewed this R32 Top Secret one. One of my first purchases early in my collecting days is R35 with the Pandem kit. So these are other ignition models. Unfortunately, I can't repaint or take this apart. There's a piece of plastic with the diffuser, so I can't access the screw. This one I can take apart, but the roll cage is already a different color, so that's why I left that interior black. But, I mean, a colorful interior, it just makes a world of difference as far as appreciating the molded details inside, right? You can see that in white tan interior pretty easily, but with the black ones, not so much. Oh well. Let's let this guy spin on its own. So I guess I just have a custom R33, not really a 400R, just a customized 400R. Maybe that's what it is. I got a new wing and new wheels and a new interior for it. If I was 1/64 scale in height, I guess I gotta push that axle in tighter too. Okay, well, we'll have to see if I get any more ignitions. You know, as usual, I have those gripes. They're just overpriced. This brand should really be half as much as what they're asking for. You know, because they're competing against Inno64, and Inno64 has so many more details. Or even Tarmac Works Hobby, they have so many more details, and yet they cost so much less money that these are kind of a letdown. You know, I do feel that they're tighter than, say, a Mini GT, but it's a tough call. I mean, Mini GTs also don't have brakes, but again, they're a fraction of the cost. They also have plain black interiors, but again, they're a fraction of the cost. Alright, I'm going on and on. Anyways, thanks for watching today. Next time I get a Skyline, we'll do another video. Thanks.